manual transmission rear-wheel drive with the base motor that makes 473 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. If you want more power, you have to get the competition, and that makes 503 horsepower, and that is the rear-wheel drive version. If you get the all-wheel drive version, you get 523 horsepower. This is the rear-wheel drive base motor, and it's supposed to do 60 in about 4 seconds. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to show you the buttons to do it. I hit M mode, I go to track, and then I can adjust how I want my traction control to work. And that is the best part about this M3, that you can customize it all, because I can hold the stability program down. It gives me DSC on, MDM, and then DSC off. So I'll hit DSC off, and then I'll hit drift analyzer. And it's so funny because yesterday I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna test this out. I went around a corner, I'm like, okay, I got out a little bit. I'm like, oh, it gets a bit squirrely, but total controlled squirrely. And then it gave me like how well I did on my drift. And I got a 1 star out of 4 stars. It was very embarrassing. I've done 1 drift so far in this thing, and it was like, okay, I'm good. And it gave me a 1 star. Anyways, back to the 0 to 60. And that's the thing, because I'm on winters and the road is wet. Okay, so let's get back to this traction control. I can completely shut it off, or I can load it up to 10. And when I load to 10, it will not let these tires spin whatsoever. But the best number is like 5, where I get the back end to kind of come out nice enough where I feel totally safe. Like nothing that I feel like I'm gonna smash into a tree. Here, let me show you. I'm an M traction control 5. I go around this corner just like normal, and then I give it a bit of fuel, and then the ass end comes out, and that's it. Super fun. This is a very fun car. When I was doing it yesterday, I was like, man, and it was raining yesterday, and I was like, man, I gotta buy one of these things. I wish cars had this. Like, why do you have to buy an M3 to get it? I want like every brand to make this that's rear-wheel drive that you can have some fun with. Not just like, even listen, we have the Porsche this week as well. We have a Porsche Carrera base car, but it makes almost 400 horsepower, very similar to this. This one makes more, obviously, but that has like off MDM, it was like kind of a limited version, and then this. And that limited version allows you to obviously kind of bring it out a little bit. Definitely not as much as this, the way you can do this. This customizable part is so sick. All I look for is like corners now. So let's talk about this transmission. It is excellent. It shifts so well, and it has this like little rubberized feeling before you go into the gear. This is not a new thing for BMW, but I will say that I'm driving a manual transmission now, and I want to talk about it. When you shift downshift, it just nice and soft, and I had the rev matching on, so it just does a great job. Oh, I just love manual transmissions. Do not ever give this up, BMW. Please make manual transmissions forever. It is turbocharged, so there is a slight lag, very slight. So here's a toss-up for you. When people see this Dakar yellow car, they always just want to race. And I know that this is not the greatest drag car or 0 to 60 time car in manual transmission in rear-wheel drive with winter tires. But people always want to race you. So in that case, you have to get the competition all-wheel drive, because you will dust everybody all the time in that. It just whips. It's super fast. I recommend that everybody buys a BMW M3. Like everybody. Because if you have any lows in your life at times, you can just simply get in your BMW M3, mess around with your M-Drift traction control, and then just find T intersections and go into them and just get your BMW M3 sideways for like 2 seconds. And that's that. Like, look at this. Just so fun. So fun. Where's the M3 on the key? Well, it doesn't matter, because we're going to talk about it. This is the all-new, refreshed BMW M3 in manual transmission. It only comes as 4-door. And let's get all the fanboys to talk about these lights, because these lights are new. Angel eyes have obviously been gone for a long time, but these things are the new shtick when it comes to the BMW headlights. People like the design and some people absolutely hate it. They also have the kidney grills that are not going anywhere soon with these all new grills on the bottom. That is a new design. But overall, what do you guys think about the look of this brand new, refreshed BMW M3? And honestly, from a distance, I look at it, I'm like, it is pretty sick. When you look at it from this angle, you're like, I don't know if I like the look of it. These kidney grills still take getting used to. But overall, I will still say this is pretty badass when you drive it. Now, as I come across the side, the air does flow in through the front bumper on the side, up as an air curtain, and across the side of this Dakar yellow M3. These wheels are not factory. They are winter rims with winter tires. Now, it is November in Canada, which is why they are on the car. It hasn't snowed as yet, and I'm not sure why. Anyways, everything about the M3 is functional, except for that guy right there. These are M3 mirrors, and I love them. They've been around for a long time, but they should not change, and I'm glad BMW has not pulled them. This does have a full carbon roof. As you can see, there is no sunroof, and I get it because it's trying to keep as lightweight as possible. On the side, this is not your conventional 3 Series. It is wide body in the back, and you can clearly see it when I stand here. And when I move forward, you can see it does have these unique side skirts that do flare out the body, and it makes the whole car look substantial. If you're wondering what type of fuel this BMW M3 requires, the answer is not regular. You have to put premium. And if you're wondering what tire size are on these winters, they are 275 wide on the front and 275 wide in the back. Now you can definitely put 305s in the back of this thing, and it can use all the grip it can get. So I walk towards the M3. Walk away. Walk back to it. Walk away.
Hands up.
Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. So let's whip around the back of this BMW M3. First things first, aesthetically. Do you like these taillights?
I love it.
Some people like these rear taillights of the M4 over the M3. Leave it in your hands to tell me what you prefer. These taillights or those taillights. Of course, you have the BMW badge, the M3 badge on that side. You have the same spoiler as you do have on the M4. I like this little cutout here and back up again. But of course, your eyes are always going to focus on the bottom. These exhausts are absolutely massive, and they sound sick. There's 4 of them. I love this massive rear diffuser. Anyways, when you're living like a normal human and you have shopping bags in your hand and you walk up to your BMW M3, you give it a kick and the trunk does open up. And it's probably because it doesn't know that I'm behind here because I've been standing here for 10 minutes. But when you kick it, it does open up, and it does have a power tailgate. Look at that. It is not manual. Yep, an M3 with a power tailgate. How times have changed. So how much room do you have in the back of your M3? As far as depth goes, you have 41 inches. As far as width goes, you have 41 inches as well, but it's probably the entry height that's probably most concerning, and it's 17 and a half. Now, if you're wondering, do the seats fold down? The answer is, of course it does. It is 60-40 in theory, but it's actually 40-20-40, and that's because the center does go down. And the reason I say 60-40 is because you have 2 handles here. You pull this guy, and you pull this guy, and then it folds 60 and 40. So here's your 40, and the other side is your 60. Like this. Okay. Oh dear. Oh, it's because this thing is on. So I put the seatbelt on. It's locked. Come on. Oh. Watch your hand. There we go. There we go. Come on. There we go. There we go.
All right.
Pull it again. Pull it again.
Oh my goodness.
There we go. 60-40. And here's the 60. But you can have the 40-20-40 just by pulling this guy here, and then you have the center down for a ski pass or whatever you want to put in, maybe 2x4s in your new BMW M3. Inside of the BMW M3, very, very clean and subtle. Because it's manual transmission, it's not the easiest to get into accessory mode like an automatic vehicle would be. I have to kind of start it, because when I push the engine start and stop button, not a whole lot happens. But aesthetically, very clean upper panel here. It is curved, as you can see. Some people don't like that. Some people like to have an actual, an actual tack, an actual cluster, but this is the way of the world. Everything else, very plain, very simple. Like, look at these vents. The HVAC vents are controlled this way, up, down, left, and right. They're not done any other way. Very clean.
So clean.
So clean.
So clean.
LED ambient lighting right there. The door panel, very simple, very BMW, small strip of ambient lighting. I do have a heads-up display. There is no roof like we talked about on the outside. I have this new updated steering wheel. I love it. This is very soft. This is one of the favorite parts, or my favorite part about this M3, is the steering wheel and the seats. The stuff that's important. And the shifter, because remember, this is manual. This shifter, look how heritage this is. This is like an original M3 shifter from back in the day. It's very soft, got the same design, and shifts very, very smooth, including the shift boot. It has the 3 BMW colors, red, dark blue, and light blue, or baby blue. On the steering wheel, back to the steering wheel, you have a 12 o'clock marker in the center, you have M1, M2, and then on the left-hand side, all your cruise control buttons. On the right-hand side, all your volume, and obviously your infotainment for your FM, AM, satellite radio stuff. Now, it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Audio.
Android Auto.
Oh, my bad. Anyways, all that stuff is all standard. Obviously, it works from your phone, goes in, very, very easy to use. It's a little bit difficult to set up BMW infotainment compared to other brands. So if you're not used to a BMW product, there's a little more buttons you have to press, a little bit more technical to get into some of the sub-menus. HVAC control is very, very easy, but to set up your phone for Bluetooth, it takes a little bit of kind of figuring out sometimes. Anyways, back to the seats, super comfortable. I like this section right here. It's like a pillow top essentially, but for your back. Very, very soft. You do have an illuminated M3 badge.
Is this a Hyundai and Elantra?
It could be, or maybe they stole it from them. Check out these seat belts. They have the BMW M signature. Nice stitching in them. What else can I talk about? Oh, armrest, important to note. It is fairly padded. Underneath, you do have a wireless charger that you have to slide your phone on the side here. You do have a USB right there and a USB-C right here. The other thing is that when you want to hit these buttons, so there's a setup M mode, which is pretty straightforward. You hit M mode and you have road, sport, and track, kind of like different drive modes. But the one below it is kind of strange. It's an exhaust button. And when you hit it, it says on the screen, it says M sound control off, M sound control on. Now, usually when you want to have the exhaust or the flappers come on or off, it would make more of an impact than what this button does. You'd normally want to hold it down when you have a light. There's no light here, and that to me is kind of annoying because you don't want to have to read it when you're driving, or you pull up somewhere like, okay, I want to get these exhausts on. Because you only want to have a loud exhaust, either one, you can hear it for yourself when you're driving, or number two, you want to show off to people. And you can't show off to people pressing the button and making sure it's on. You want to just quickly look down. If the light is on, you know it's working. So that's the one thing that I would definitely change if I was a designer of these electronics on this M3. Everything else is pretty straightforward. All this stuff over here is your control for your infotainment. You can touchscreen it if you want, or you can use this little toggle on the bottom for iDrive 8.5. That's the version. So back seats of the M3. All right, feels exactly how I'd expect it. Nice and firm. In the center, you do have this perforations that have different sizes of holes in them. Like it, that's a nice touch. It would be cooler if they had the BMW logo colors in the perforations, but hey, beggars can't be choosers because you get them in the seatbelt. Anyways, visibility back here is gonna feel a little bit tight because there's no sunroof. It's black, everything. You got these monster seats in front of you, but it still feels okay, I hope, with this crazy driver. Now, I do have 2 USB-C plugs right there, and I do have a bit of HVAC controlling going on with your single climate control with 2 vents. But as far as space goes, yep, I feel fairly good. I'm 5'9", and I have a little bit of room, so somebody 6'2" should be fine in here. Anything larger than that would probably have a problem. I do have headrests that do work, and they are adjustable, which is good. This is the highest setting that you can get, and my head fits perfect. The only thing I really don't like about it are these headlights. Not a huge fan of the headlights. I don't really mind the screen. They seem like they've integrated a little bit more into the dash on this one. I do love the plainness of this specific spec. It's very clean inside. It's the perfect spec. It's how I would spec out my M3. Maybe the color, I would maybe choose something different. Yellow, over time, I find can get a bit, not annoying, but more like you just wish you'd pick a different color after a long period of time. But at the same time, if you asked me to buy like a 20-year-old M3 in, I think it was Imola yellow at the time, I'd be like, hell yeah, I love that color. I preferred, I'm getting a brain shutdown. Oh my God, what blue is it? What blue is it? Come on, what blue? Estoril blue, yes. That was a beautiful color. When that color came out, it was beautiful. It was like when Audi came with the S4 in, what is that blue? Nogaro blue? Yeah, I think Nogaro blue. That Nogaro blue and Astora blue were like the two best blues. Like, it was like a blue thing for Audi and BMW for a while. And then it was obviously yellow. With Volvo, I feel like Volvo brought yellow at a bunch of car shows like 15 years ago. And then it was like they brought these Skittle colors, and I was like, oh, Volvo's making a difference. And then it went absolutely nowhere. But yeah, I don't know, it's so hard to pick. Like a car like this, it's so hard to pick the color, especially when it's four-door, because four-door is different than picking a color when you pick a two-door car. It's just some cars, like some bigger cars, don't look good with certain bright colors. But I think the M3s are probably the biggest like physical car you should buy in a bright color. In my opinion, big cars just don't look good with bright colors. You need like a subtle, kind of like a matte color. Like look at RS7s. RS7s in bright colors just don't look good. But like a matte copper or a matte bronze just looks so sick. I feel like they're different colors, bronze and copper. Anyways, that's it for my review on this 2025 BMW M3 manual transmission. Would I buy one? 100% I definitely would. Would I change his headlights? 100% I definitely would. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy this. From myself, Mike, and Ian, who's behind the camera and sometimes in front of the camera. We'll catch you on the next one.